Hey everyone, what's up? This is Mike D'Angelo from BodyEvolver, and I'm doing this video because I get this question all the time. And one of our new subscribers, this guy Evan out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, really great kid, very aggressive, trying to grow his business, and he knows that he's got to be, if he wants to retain his clients, he's got to, show them return on investment and show them what kind of progress that his clients are making from training with him. So he's been running body comps, right? And so that's what we do with our software is we track progress over time. But the problem is he's new at it and he's trying to figure out how to deal with a very common issue. And I get this question all the time, and maybe you're familiar with it. So check it out. So this is the question. This is in an email. So what I did was I cut and pasted this email out so that you could actually see the question. And it is right here. So Evan says, right, thanks, Mike. I've been meaning to ask you about something that has come up a couple of times recently with body comps. I can't tell you how often I get this question, so that's why I'm doing this video. I've had two female clients that I had a really hard time getting a pinch for their thigh, the Skinfold measurement on their thigh. Basically, I get really good pinches on all other spots, but when I try to pinch their thigh, I can't get any skin or fat. Now, one of them is a former dancer and has very tight toned legs, but storing the body fat, in other areas. I attempt to pinch and squeeze for a skin fold, but just can't get anything between my fingers and definitely not able to use the calipers to take a measurement. What's the best thing to do in this scenario? And, with women, it's really kind of funny because a lot of women tend to store body fat in their legs and in their thighs, right? So let's just talk. Let me just show you real quick what that looks like. Okay, so here we are inside the system, right? And when you roll down over here, these are the different measurements that you take when you do skin folds. If you don't want to do skin folds and you're doing like bioelectrical impedance or umbilicus circumference, you can do that too. But if you're into skin folds, you want to do skin folds, this shows you exactly how to do it. So here's the thigh measurement that Evan is talking about. And, grabbing that part can be tough, and it's for a couple of reasons, right? So let me go into the different scenarios real quick. So the different scenarios are this, right? So it can be tight and toned, right? Somebody that's tight, toned, young, fit, and healthy. So for instance, just before I did this video, I went downstairs and I tried to grab the skin fold on my daughter, right? She's 15. She's been growing. She's got a lot of lean tissue. She hits the gym. She plays soccer, right? She's got some legs on her. Very hard to grab the skin fold on her. You can get it. I mean, of course, I've done like thousands of them, tens of thousands of them. You can get it, but it kind of takes a little bit of an art. So for the athletic type of person, it's going to be tight because they're young, they're growing, their skin is tight because their hormone levels are high. And their skin is tight because it hasn't really had a chance to kind of stretch out as they're growing. They're sort of growing inside this skin, and as they grow, the skin will actually stretch, right? So until it stretches, it's going to be tough to kind of grab a fold. Now, the other time that it gets really tough is when women tend, and this goes for men too, just usually different areas, like the abdomen maybe on men are a little tougher to grab, right? But belly button. So if somebody has gained a bunch of weight recently, right, the skin has not had time to stretch out. So what happens is the fat just kind of gets packed behind the skin. So when you go in there to try to grab a fold, you can't, the skin doesn't pull out. You know what I mean? Like if you try to do somebody that's like really overweight and they haven't been overweight that long, a lot harder to grab a good solid skin fold. And that's where you just kind of got to go in and, almost manipulate the skin with both hands, and I can show you how to do that, to kind of get the best assessment of where you think that skin fold's at. But anyway, point is, the fat gets kind of packed in behind the skin. It's kind of like blowing up a balloon. The balloon gets really, really big, right? And then when you go to like try to pinch the skin on the balloon, you can't pinch it. But as soon as you let some of the air out, suddenly you can pinch the balloon a lot easier. So there's sort of a similar scenario, right? So these are the recommendations that I'm giving Evan and everybody else, right? So connecting with the skin works better. So don't try to do it through a pair of pants, okay? So, your fingers are going to slip on a pair of sweatpants or yoga pants or something like that. The pads of your fingers will actually be able to almost be a little bit more sticky, so that when you do go in, and I recommend that you literally, like, these are my calipers, right? This is the best calipers. Love these things. Harpenden, right? I got Lang too. I got 2 pair of Lang, but these are really great. And you can hold them like this, and you can literally go in and grab that thigh, and like, don't make the mistake of grabbing like a little bit. You want to go in and grab big. You can always wiggle your fingers out until you kind of get that fold, but you got to go in and then boom, you know, and try to connect with it, and almost try to envision where that, you know, fold is compared to where the muscle is that's kind of packed in behind it, right? So yeah, you definitely, I think the best way to kind of grab it is to kind of use both hands, right? Is a good way to kind of, you know, grab it. And then, so you want to kind of go in aggressively from a how wide you grab standpoint, but go in gently, because it can be a little bit, you know, painful for someone that skin is tight, because the nerve endings are a little more exposed, and so it tends to be a little more sensitive. So be sure to grab enough. Most people start off grabbing too little, you know, and they end up not getting anything, and they can't even move it, right? So go in a little deeper. And practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, the better. You know, and you just got to get your hands on as many people as possible. And the people that you're literally having trouble with doing this, I'd be like, hey, do you mind if I just try to practice on your Skinfold again on your thigh? Because I'm just kind of trying to get used to this, right? So go in. Usually people are pretty cool. If you're new at something, you're like, hey, I'm kind of new, but I want to get better at it. Can you help me out? And they're like, yeah, man, sure, go ahead. You know, just. And the other thing that I almost forgot is make sure that you're supposed to be taking the Skinfold on the right thigh, right? All the time. It's kind of the industry standard. So make sure that their weight is on the left thigh, and that you're literally, you can like shake the thigh so that it's loose. If that muscle is tight, or if they squeeze the tissue, that muscle ends up pulling, you know, not just on the muscle contracts, but it also kind of pulls on the skin, and it makes it even harder to pull that skin away. So anyway, there you have it. And hope that answers your question. I'll talk to you later, man. Okay, bye.